When the Lost City of Nguru first came out, the talk of the town was the quest for Paladin, and that quest being Dive into the Golakka Depths. If you have not seen this quest yet, just to briefly go over it, it's a 1-mana quest of course, but this quest is different from the others because it's a repeatable quest. So the repeatable quest is summon 5 Murlocs, and your Murlocs are summoned with +1/+1 upon quest completion. So every 5 Murlocs you play, your Murlocs get an additional +1/+1. So if you've played 10 Murlocs, they come with +2/+2, 15, +3/+3, so on and so forth. So in the early stages of this set being released, this deck was incredibly dominant to the point of getting 2 cards nerfed. The quest itself was not nerfed, but Braingill was. It was once a 2-mana 2/1 that gave all Murlocs Death Rattle draw a card. Now it went up a mana as well as a +1/+1, but it only gives other Murlocs that Death Rattle. So the old version, it gave itself the Death Rattle. That is no longer the case. The other card that was nerfed was the Hot Spring Glider. This was still a 3-mana 2/4, but instead of a 1-mana discount, it gave a 2-mana discount. The rest of the deck was pretty much unchanged, and the deck is just chock full of Murlocs so that our quest can progress very quickly. It even runs the crowd favorite Grunty, which is an 8-mana legendary from the StarCraft mini set that saw absolutely no play outside of meme applications, and Murloc Paladin quest gave this guy a home. So this is an 8-mana 3/4 Murloc with the battle cry of summon 4 random Murlocs, then shoot them at enemy minions. The cool thing about this is Grunty himself is a Murloc. The 4 Murlocs are summoned. If you are good at math, 4+1 is 5, and the Golakka Depths quest cares heavily about that number 5. So the main question is this deck still good after the nerfs? And honestly, it's still pretty solid. It's of course nowhere near as dominant as it used to be, but you can still win many games with this strategy. So if you're interested in taking Quest Paladin out for a spin, I'm going to leave the deck code down in the description. And if you're interested in Hearthstone content like this, please consider subscribing. It would help out the channel a ton. Anyway, let's get into some games. Warrior needs to get out of my face. So it's like a Mechathune new skin. Shiny Snorlax. Let's just almost full keep this hand. Almost. We want that Hand of Vidal landing on this guy on turn 2. So this is probably testing dummy Warrior, which if they get to a blazing fast start can easily overwhelm our deck. But we'll see if we can try to overwhelm them before they overwhelm us. Throw out the Treasuregill. We'll find a Submerged Map instead of Hand of Vidal. I am deeply disappointed. Next turn is looking like a Glider into Murmy. And for turn 3, as of right now, it's looking like coin Steamfin Thief. Yeah, still looking like that. So let's go with... Actually, if I just hold on, I can Tyrannogill next turn off of a coin. It's kind of exciting. Let's shove. And end the turn. So coin out this fella next turn into Steamfin Thief on 4, I believe. Or on 5, rather, with the Murmy backup. Yep. Crash into here. And gonna stick to the game plan. If they have AoE potion, they can destroy this guy and then clear my board, but that is a lot of resources. that they might not have. And they're going to go with a slam into a bit of armor.
We must tear down.
Okay. Gonna reduce the cost of their dummy, I assume. And let's just go with a thief. And should I also commit Murmy? Or should I leave room for this to get its full value? I think I can commit Murmy. Progress my quest. Denies a little bit of value out of Tyrannogill, but odds are they're going to clear my board. Do they have the weapon? They do not. They just have Cubicle, which is an issue as well. Oh, a Cubicle with charge, it turns out. Okay. So let's go with Tyrannogill. This is an 8/5. So I may just take this opportunity to I could bump into there, which I still think is technically correct to do. So I'll still get my value out. And we will crunch into there. And then just shove a little bit of damage at my opponent's noggin. Now they do need to do something pretty drastic this turn. Probably not the reanimation they were hoping for. And then at least we'll need to come up with a fantastic one-cost location to get them out of this situation. Because I have a bit of burst in my hand. Alright, what do they got? Some Raptors. Okay, so they're going to make my 4/3 into a 4/1. Okay. Yeah. Pretty terrifying to see Cubicle testing dummy, but the quest provided a big enough board to stand up to all those pings. Okay, another Death Knight.
You could not stop me then. You will not.
Submerged Map on 1, or on 2 rather.
I will fight with honor.
I think it's responsible to keep it. I also want to keep the glider. Do I want to keep the glider? Or do I want to like fill out my early turns a little better? Yeah. With what my hand was looking like there, I think I'm better off filling in the early turns with some better plays. That fits. That fits my early plays. Also gets my quest up and running as early as possible. So no 1-drop from my opponent. Feels like we might be dealing with a slower opponent. Let's go with Submerged Map. And map will find me an answer to the leech. Oh, please hold. More value. A little bit more value.
The citadel stands strong.
And do I take this opportunity to cash in the value? I think this is next turn that I'm going to cash in the value. For now, I'm just going to submerge map into... Maybe just a Warleader just to shove some damage this turn. And then the Thief. Hit my opponent for 5. Do I want to set up Primalfin Challenger for Thief? Probably not with the leeches on the way. They're going to coin out a 1-drop of some sort. A keychain. Alright. So next turn is going to be my first turn of quest progression. And there is the Steamfin. Yeah, just play them. And we will crunch into their leeches. A little bit of rush value. 2 out of 5. So we might be looking at another Steamfin. Or we could Paintfin into a Challenger for a nice little Thief Braingill the following turn. Because that draws me an obscene amount of cards. Yeah. I'm in the business of drawing an obscene amount of cards. And we'll end the turn there. So they are probably going to clear my board this turn if I know Death Knight at all. Or they are going to just draw some cards. Gotta respect that. So let's do a little bit of quest progression, but at the same time, this is a bit awkward because my board will be ridiculously full. So let's instead just slow our roll a little bit. And maybe just double Braingill. And this will draw all the cards I could ever want. And more. We'll end the turn. So if they clear my board, I will be unfortunately overdrawing. But I will also have a very full hand.
Do you like to play with fire?
And they are going to clear that board for me. So we have a number of cards coming up.
The citadel stands strong.
Hopefully my angling rods can produce a little bit of additional grunty value. Let's go for... So Hand of a Doll, there's only one Hand of a Doll left, so it's pretty much my last turn to play Treasuregill. Let's first buff up my quest a little bit more. And then Glider into Treasuregill. And let's keep my board healthy-ish. Alright, let's see what sweet burn we're gonna get.
My hand
Not a bad one. Not a bad burn.
What a waste.
Yeah, they probably wanted that one against the minion deck. And my burn was just a Gnawing Greenfin. Didn't really need that guy desperately. So you've seen one Wild Pyro, Poison Breath, and one Corpse Explosion. And then now the end is in fact coming. So let's just have this be a bit of a setup turn. Throw out the Aura. And
For justice.
let's see what smacking into their head does. I think I'm just okay with Murmy biting the dust. This also progresses my quest a little bit further.
I remember this place well.
Delise, probably for a 10 mana location. Pretty terrifying. And I will be needing Grunty probably to clean up whatever they do next turn. And then an Ancient of Yore again. Okay. So let's start things off with... I believe just clearing their 3/5 and also Hot Spring, and then let's give this guy Divine Shield, crash in for a few points of damage, and we're going to be skipping some rocks here soon. So terrifying 10 mana location probably coming down this turn. Unless not. So if they do clear my board, they are met with a pretty wide board again with Tyrannogill. And how much burn do I have from hand? I have 3 damage here, 2 damage here. And I have quite a bit of number of opportunities on the top of my deck to find more burst. Okay. Not terrible. And then Infested Breath. Sounds good. And then a Warleader. Let's start things off with a Hand of a Doll. This will find a Tidecaller. Let's see what we can get off of the Greenfin. Okay, that might be good. So let's keep progressing our quest, and let's end the turn with a frankly massive Murloc to crash in with. And then a little bit of damage at my opponent's head, and we'll end the turn there. So right now I am at +5/+5 with quest progression. So they are hoping for Corpse Explosion or Pyro Poison Breath again. Okay. Their corpses actually can't deal with my board too cleanly. Okay. Board's still looking pretty beefy. Yeah. Yeah, the burned Ceaseless Expanse and just the nature of this matchup being my quest outscales what they're doing makes it pretty good for the Murloc Paladin.
Uther versus
I have a priest opponent.
Queen Ajara demands your
Last priest opponent I played against was on Protoss Priest, and that matchup seems a little suspect. But we'll see if we can have a better start this time around. Really, after the nerf of this card, I find myself not keeping them as much, especially if the other cards aren't super good in early game. So let's see if we can find some 1-drops. We found a few. We found a handful of 1-drops. Catch of the day. Turn 1. We'll leave them with a 3-1. And I do unfortunately think I need to lead with a 1-1 Reborn. Lines up well with their 3-1, and I just need to keep up with them. Now next turn, it's the question of, do I go Submerged Map, Greenfin, Tidecaller. Okay. Tidecaller makes me just want to run out my other 1-drop. And it's just, oops, all 1-drops over here. We'll just dish in their head. So if they bump into there, I will likely be able to clean up with what they do with my dear friend Murmy. Let's just make sure we can keep the chain going. Clear into there, and now I have an Adaptive Amalgam with Divine Shield permanently in my deck. I think that's how that works. That might not be how it works. Because it's going to lose the enchantment once the Divine Shield pops. I should probably know how that works. Orbital Halo will clear my Divine Shield, and then a Holy Smite will clean up my Murloc. Okay, let's go with a map. And the map will find Tidehunter. And then Tidehunter will, of course, probably just the thing that costs less, honestly. So next turn I can go 2-3 instead of just 1 5-drop. Better for my quest progression. And Photon Cannons will clean up that Murloc. And this catch of the day is absolutely bodying me. That is honestly exactly what I needed to see. So next turn I'm going to Steamfin Thief, and my board will be pretty much unstoppable, maybe? May have waited for a better opportunity to resuscitate, but maybe that's all the best play they had. So let's go with the obviously right play. And that's a lot of Murlocs. And we're hoping this hits Hand of Vidal. It does not. Okay. Yeah, we're just gonna present this board to my opponent. See what they think.
It is finished.
Didn't like it. I get the feeling they just weren't a fan. So that was a lot of catch of the days, but it was also not a whole lot of much else. But we'll take it. We'll take that 100%.
Uther versus Uriel.
A fellow Paladin enjoyer.
The light guides us.
I will fight with honor.
So let's see if they're doing the same thing I'm doing. Let's watch this card right here together. I'm gonna mulligan these two. Find some 1-drops. Okay, they did mulligan this card. So we are probably dealing with an aggro Paladin, which is not a great matchup. Let's start with the quest though, because we are playing Quest Paladin. So next turn is double Murmy. Some sticky minions to contest with what they're doing. Gonna go with a coin. And Rock Skipper. Okay. Do I try to win the 50-50 on Hand of Adult? Even if I do win that 50-50, they have a rock. So let's just go with double Murmy. This represents 4 ticks of progression on the old quest. So the reason they're running this is because they have the mech that buffs up 1 attack minions. And giving this guy +1/+1, making it a 2/4 is a pretty annoying body to deal with. So next turn we are looking at a Primalfin Challenger into maybe a future Steamfin Thief. If I can put that together, I think this matchup is pretty easy. There's no way there's hero powering.
Reporting for duty.
Okay, we'll take it. Yeah, I'm probably just gonna play this fella instead. And do I just take this opportunity to smack into there? I don't think so. I'll have him deal with my 1/1s. Wisp into Busybot. There is that minion I was worried about. There's no way that's the correct trade. What else do they got? Usually you play all your minions and then you Busybot, but maybe they have some sort of 2-attack minion to go with this? Oh, right. The rock. Let's start things off with Treasuregill. Seems weird to not lead with Tidecaller, but just in case it hits the map, I want to make sure I can play that card. And I will take a Rock Skipper of my own, and I will crash in their 2/1 and then 1 at their noggin. So we have Rock Skipper next turn to deal with whatever they do. And then Tyrannogill should clean up shop, honestly. Okay. Pretty good answer to what I'm doing. 4 health is pretty convenient into my rock, man. Okay. I appreciate them doing that trade for me. Let's go with the rock. And just in case I have future Steamfins, I kind of want to run this, but at the same time, Braingill is pretty enticing. So let's pop that Divine Shield and soften him up a little bit. So now I have the annoyingly statted 2/4. Their Murmy does not come with an additional +1/+1.
Hey, I got you, friend.
They have a sidekick. Okay. Looks like they're trying to set up a Crusader Aura. I mean, that's just perfect. Let's go ahead and clear my board a little bit to make some room for this guy. So let's fill my board with an obscene amount of stats. And crash into here, crash into there. And let's also Hand of Vidal to take care of that 3/4. Okay, so if they're trying to set up a Crusader Aura turn, I pretty much prevented that.
The exit is this way.
Maze Guide will produce Harbinger of Winter, and they are going to do a little bit of trading with the Maul. So I think this deck typically runs Zilliax, so I was going to try to clear their board, but they decided to hit that bottom right concede for me.